Wrestling Podcast. And his name is John Cena.
There we go.
Yes, it's not simulated at all.
Not
It's
at all.
locally sourced.
I've got Narwhal Imperial Stout from Sierra Nevada.
Legion Bifrost Winter Ale, thanks to Brittany.
Yep. Come over to my house to record the podcast. I'll give you beer.
Ray's got
I just
Same.
stuck with plain old tap water.
It's,
That's right.
It's straight vodka.
It's
Is it?
straight vodka. Nice. Belfie City Water tastes just like straight vodka.
So it'll do that
It's a little
and take Dante's nail polish off at the same time.
Oh, shit.
Oh, snap.
Oh, shit.
Speaking of Dante's nail polish, what day is it, Ray?
oh my God! It is Friday, December 2nd, 2016, and you're listening to On the Heels Wrestling Podcast. I'm Ray.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Kyle.
We're three wrestling buddies who like to conversate and debate about our fascination and or strong feelings towards professional wrestling. We started this podcast at our former place of business, which gave us a space to shoot on all of the things in our favorite pastime without the confused looks we often got from the rest of the office.
This podcast is all about giving you consistent, fun-sized commentary on the world of professional wrestling, focused primarily on WWE's ever-expanding waistline of shows, though we'll occasionally touch on the local indie scene right here in Seattle, Washington.
Yes.
That being said, every week we're gonna either recap the previous weeks WWE weekly shows, network specials, pay-per-views, all that other shit, or Kyle will spit out his beer and we'll hold a roundtable discussion on a particular topic.
You're the one who can't say words.
I can't say the words.
Too busy conversating and
This
debating and
week
throwing
we're
hands.
gonna talk
What are we doing
about
this week,
something.
Ray? What are we doing this week?
We're going to talk about all the stuff that's been happening with Survivor Series, with Raws, but we got a special guest. See, I can't talk. Special guest.
I'll take it from here. Let the feds take over. This week we are proud to welcome to the podcast
Honored.
the 3-2-1 Battle Pacific Middleweight Champion, the Weekend Warrior.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome,
Thank
sir.
Otherwise known as Craig.
Yes.
I'm super stoked. I am planning to buy your shirt, so cool.
Awesome.
I figure since I'm going to
be.
become a dad, I need to have the Weekend Warrior Dad Bod Squad shirt.
Of course you do.
You
I
can
mean,
buy one.
I've been
Tonight
gaining the
at,
sympathy weight, so I'm following the plan. I got, I'm going, my wife's like happy, I stopped working out and have just been eating shitty food with her, so it's awesome.
there you go. There you go.
Sweet.
If you'd like to know more about where you can find Weekend Warrior shirts, go to facebook.com/321battle.
Wow.
And it will have that info.
You can also go to the Battle Palace tonight at Evolve Fitness and catch some 3-2-1 battle action, some solid steel action,
Solid steel.
and buy Weekend Warrior shirt.
Yeah.
That's right. Jeff Cobb is in the house.
Holy
fuck.
shit.
And there might be an open challenge.
Oh, shit.
You heard it here first, folks.
I do not accept.
I don't think you get the
I don't want to do it.
All right, let's talk about wrestling.
Yes, wrestling. So we'll lead off with the most obvious and sort of like foreseen storylines ever. Randy Orton joining the Wyatt family in the lead up to the Survivor Series match. I forgot that was even a thing. I forgot he was even alive, and then laughed at how weird the configuration
He was left for dead after
But then I
last
thought,
week.
you know what? He hears the voices. Bray Wyatt's always whispering to people. This seems like the most phoned in, kind of easy thing they could lean into.
So if you only watch Raw, which many of us do, and you didn't see the whole transition, this seems super out of nowhere, and there's no change to his gimmick.
Did you say it happened out of nowhere?
Oh, nice. It wasn't planned.
Yeah.
That was an authentic laugh. But last I remember, they were in a pay-per-view match against each other, so it was pretty fascinating to see. I
want to say that Randy Orton is the first Wyatt that does not have a long beard.
Yeah.
Long hair and looks like he comes from the depths of Louisiana.
Right. He's also just in shape.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah,
That's a big one.
it's pretty crazy. The man took a spear for his new dad, I guess. I don't know what Bray Wyatt's relationship is with these people, but
Like a cousin.
that was
godparent.
actually pretty cool.
Uncle Bray.
Yeah, oh yeah.
At that point, I was fully getting into that like dread as the rest of the crowd was as they were doing another standing boovation. We've had a year and a half straight of Roman being booed into oblivion, but they're booing the crap out of him because he's in there, doing his seizure in the corner, and everyone's like, "Oh God, here comes a spear!" And then next thing you know,
you
he
cock
takes
that
the
fist.
bullet. Yeah, it's like totally.
I'll be honest, I almost feel bad for Roman.
I don't think that's possible.
I think that's the height of the sympathy. It's almost feeling.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I mean, it's not his fault he was booked the way he was.
Right.
So the crowd turned on him because of the way he was booked is the way I feel about it. So I feel bad for him in a sense, but then he's still Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he also has some control over what he says, what he does, like what
How his
moves.
matches play out.
Yeah, I give him
like-
credit,
Yes.
man. He must be the writer's favorite dude because he is
Yeah.
going
Yes.
with all this. My God, he is the guy.
Speaking of Roman, let's talk about that Shield triple power bomb.
Yeah, so that was at least a good moment.
Yeah.
So
The only way Roman's gonna get over.
right, and even then though they still booed.
They still booed it.
They booed it like in segments. They cheered the part where like collaboration of like Rollins and Ambrose happened, but then like when Roman did like his ooh-ah, then they booed that, but then they cheered the powerbomb. It's like a very nuanced crowd. But it was still pretty cool. AJ went through. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like the part that they tried to separate Ambrose, and then Reigns and Rollins beat the shit out of the people preventing it from happening. And then they do it anyway. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
So I guess other highlights. It's funny, a lot of these highlights involve Roman in a way, but Shane O'Mac's presence in the Survivor Series.
I was really happy about this.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
super cool. I like the angle of it, the captain thing. Like he's leading the ship. You
Yes.
know.
Go ahead.
I still kind of feel like he needs to spend a little bit of time in like the performance center because he
Have
just
you
like
seen his videos?
yeah no I like he can legit fight.
Dude is in shape.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying he's not in shape. I'm just saying he's punching them in the gut for real. Like, he's just like hitting them hard and it doesn't look as effective. But I'm sure to the wrestler, it's like, ow, my ribs, ow, my ribs, ow, my
Plus,
ribs.
he's probably taking those lumps hard. Like, remember at SummerSlam a year or two ago when Green Arrow was there?
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
he
gosh.
didn't know how to take falls. He was in shape guy, loved wrestling, but he was beat the fuck up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
for
him
sure.
posting pictures on Twitter of just giant bruises all over his back. 'Cause
Yeah.
He took everything in his shoulder.
Yeah.
It was bad. But yeah, Shane O'Mac clearly got a concussion
Oh, my God.
during that. Like, Ray was saying ahead of time before the podcast that, like, he tapped out way too early.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
he-
all of a sudden it's like,
Well, no, hold on.
No.
First, he does. All right, so he does the top rope onto the announce table. That move first, right? Then he's
As
trying
you
to do coast to coast and gets speared mid jump by Roman, and it's super
Badly.
awkward.
yeah. And so
Badly.
when he goes for the pin, Roman like goes for the pin. He's supposed to get a 3 count, and that's how Shane gets eliminated. Shane kicks out of just sheer instinct, and then they're like, "Oh, that wasn't supposed
shit.
to happen."
Yeah.
Oh fuck, he's like knocked silly. Fuck it, like ring the bell, get him out of here.
yeah.
And that even looked bad for Roman. Like, he looked like he basically DDT'd himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rough
the
all,
impact
yeah.
was insane.
That didn't look good for anybody.
Yeah.
I do like, though, how every time he does those moves, he does this, like, genuflection. Like, side cross thing. Like,
Yes.
this might be my last go.
That side of the cross. Fuck.
I liked
Yeah.
that at WrestleMania where he comes out, kisses his wife, hugs all of his kids. Like, I might die tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Exactly. Have you ever said that before your matches?
I have not. I've actually been very confident whenever I've been doing what I've been doing. So
Yeah.
awesome.
So, I mean, we could talk about Survivor Series as far as match by match, but I mean, the two biggest matches were that singles Survivor Series match, and then the final match, which
Yes.
was the big lead up of Goldberg versus Lesnar. We'll spend more time talking about this than the match actually lasted.
Right. We're already, like, into the first spear at this point.
Past
But
it.
my goodness, it was a time machine back to like 2000, 1998 or whatever, the full WCW entrance, and basically the full WCW match experience. Actually, even longer, I guess you could say we got bonus because normally it was one spear,
One spear,
and done
yeah.
back in the
Yeah.
old days. But he had to, really rub the salt in the wounds there for all those comments he made on Raw the week prior. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was actually really excited about this match which I did not expect because I'm not really like the biggest Lesnar fan,
Yeah.
and I didn't really watch any of WCW back when like Goldberg was actually wrestling.
Yeah.
But I was really excited about the outcome, and I didn't know I was going to be.
I will agree. I felt the same way as I kept going. It started, I'm like, this match is probably not gonna be. And then as the pay-per-view built up, like, you know what, this would be pretty interesting. By the end, I'm like, all right, yeah, let's see
I'm
what
ready
you
to go.
got.
Let's go,
all right.
guys. Yeah.
I was sitting there wondering the entire time what it was going to be like, just because I remembered Goldberg versus Lesnar the last time, and I mean, for all the build-up it had, it was the most terrible match on the card.
Yeah.
By
It's
far.
like in one of those top tens of
Worst match
matches
ever?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like casual wrestling fans that are on the game podcast I listen to were like, oh yeah, fucking Goldberg at Survivor Series with Lesnar, that's gonna be good because we needed more of that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, they got a point.
Yeah,
So it did way better. Like they handled it well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I 3 podcasts ago I said this is gonna be the countdown to letdown.
Oh yeah.
And like, cause I had I have no expectations. I don't want this match. I don't care about this match. I seen Goldberg in WCW, and I didn't. Up until the streak ended, like I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is really cool. Fuck. Oh, this match is. Oh god. It like towards the end of like Goldberg's like little streak, I was like, okay, this is cool, but like I want to see him lose. I want to see like.
Yeah.
It's
it gets more risky, right? Like when they had done the thing where they would have part-timers wrestle full-timers, it was always like, well, shit, how's it going to shake out?
Yeah.
And we heard way back even to like the CM Punk stuff that it was like risky, you know, because like it might offend that person or upset them, right?
Yeah.
And then the transition from Lesnar stop wrestling other full-time people to now he's only kind of wrestling other part-time or rehabbed people, if you think of like Orton or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, we've safely contained Lesnar into this space that kind of makes sense. Just resurrect him like 3 times a year. He wrestles other people. But also, they're basically both kind of the same character from different eras.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
how is this one going to shake out?
Yeah, because
right?
I mean, like we've been saying, the last couple Lesnar matches have been kind of bad.
Yeah.
They've just been squash matches.
Yeah.
So like, what is this gonna be if not what we saw at WrestleMania?
It's
So-
just one-dimensional. All he does is German suplexes. He doesn't do anything else anymore.
But even then, that's still pretty cool. Like,
Oh yeah.
and you know what you're getting with Lesnar.
You just can't
right?
go to the
Yes.
well too many times with it. I think
Exactly.
they found a way
Which
to
is why
like
he's a
basically,
part-timer.
they found a way to get value out of the rest of his contract, but also not make him the champion anymore.
Exactly.
It's
It's
just like they're doing it all right, but like again with Goldberg, basically I felt like this was handled great. Like they did the right thing with Goldberg.
I think we can all agree and that this match was better than WrestleMania match with Goldberg
With
Lesnar.
Lesnar?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
By far.
by far, it was great.
I was entertained.
I don't think it was in the short term. I still don't think it was a great match. I mean, it's a squash match.
Bullshit. I thought it was great.
I don't think anybody wants to see a squash match at a pay-per-view. That's
I don't
my
think
opinion.
either of those guys can necessarily put on a great match. So
That's a thing. So that's
they did the best they could with the components they had.
yes.
And
So
I think also
It's like if you're really drunk and you want a hot dog and you have that hot dog and it tastes great, that is a great hot dog in that
Yeah.
moment.
I love how Kyle somehow always brings it back to food. Like, you know
Those
when you're-
analogies are consistent.
You know when you're eating cake, and you get cake for every meal, it just tastes like cake.
Oh,
Whatever.
you reminded me.
Yeah,
Roman
yeah.
Reigns
Oh,
kale
God.
salad. Yeah. Without the dressing like McDonald's stuff.
Anyway, I thought this was actually pretty great.
Yeah.
And then 2 Raws after the fact, we get an interview, and it's jumping ahead a little bit, but Paul Heyman mentions, like, he broke Lesnar's ribs, so he couldn't breathe. Of course he's going to get hurt. And that's how you're kind of spinning it, right?
Right.
So, in the moment, it kind of makes sense if he's taken off guard, he gets immediately speared.
Yeah,
and
they
then he's
right
the
the afterwards
gate,
is
right?
awesome.
Like Sami Zayn in that Fatal 4-Way a long time ago, where he just comes in right away and you weren't expecting it. It's like, whoa, you're caught off guard. But I think what makes this match great was the lead up to it.
Yeah.
The fact that for weeks and weeks and weeks they were building up like this is going to be a huge thing. We're bringing back this rivalry. Oh my god! And then it just turned into Goldberg defeating somebody in less than a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was brilliant the way that they made a typical Goldberg WCW match exciting.
Yeah.
And you could see it in the fans. Like the fans were freaking stoked.
Yeah.
I rewatched that part a bunch and was just looking at faces because I'm like, all right. Like
Yeah.
I kind of thought, like you were saying, oh, if I bought a shitload of money ticket for this thing, would I be pissed? People were stoked.
People
People
were
were like,
stoked.
Yeah.
"Ah!" They didn't have their stupid smarky ass internet smirks. They had, I am entertained and surprised looks
Yeah.
in their faces.
And I think it
Pretty
goes
good.
goes back to the thing that you were saying off air, which was people got what they didn't know they wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to take it back even further. I want to take it back to when Goldberg first came to the WWE. When he first came and he was going against The Rock, everybody was stoked. But when he finally got into that match, it was a longer match, and he got booed.
Yeah.
He got booed out of the building. He comes in after how long?
Yep.
And then he has what was it? A minute
28.
minute 28 second match, and he's God again, pretty much.
Yep.
Yep.
And the
it
crowd was fully into it too. They did his whole chant. There wasn't, it was all the way.
So in the long term, the reason why I'm like short term, long term, it added so much. It took all the legitimacy that Brock got after beating the Undertaker to put that on Goldberg. Like all the legitimacy that Brock has, that like he can't be defeated, he's the big monster. They just gave that to Goldberg.
Yep.
And now, leading into Royal Rumble, I mean, you had a prediction.
My prediction is basically Lesnar is going to cost Goldberg. So yeah, Goldberg, basically Steph McMahon says, hey, do you got one more title shot left in you?
Right.
Like, we want more.
I was so excited when that happened.
And Goldberg's like, hell yeah, I do. We're like, yeah. And then Goldberg says he's going to go into the Rumble, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Lesnar is going to cost Goldberg the Rumble, and this will all be settled at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because if those two are in the Rumble, like that basically makes the other 28 people meaningless if they're a threat to win. So I feel like that's the safest way to have two awesome storylines going.
And if Goldberg would have lost this match, like nobody would have gave a shit.
Oh yeah, no,
because they'd be like, well, he wasn't gonna win the title anyways. But now, like Goldberg is Goldberg now.
He defeated Lesnar, who just literally put a hole in Randy Orton's head.
Yep.
Plus, Goldberg versus like Kevin Owens.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay.
I would love that.
No, just because Owens would be such a awesome shit-eating free cat champion compared to think back to when CM Punk was against Ryback and they were really bumping Ryback as like this amazingly destructive force.
As the new Goldberg.
Yeah, basically, right? Just with more steroids, like that. Like Kevin Owens, I think those two could run with that too.
Yep.
So that'd be cool. But yeah,
I'm gonna make a long shot prediction. WrestleMania. Goldberg versus Lesnar. Goldberg wins for the third time, gets a world title shot at Backlash, and loses to put the other guy over. Like basically fights like an Owens, fights like who's the what's his name? The Demon. Finn Balor puts Finn Balor over.
Shit.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, because I mean he's going to get a title shot. It's going to happen. And I think Brock Lesnar doesn't give a shit if he loses as long as he gets paid.
Brock Lesnar is getting paid.
He's getting paid.
when's his contract up? Do we know?
It's 3 years, $3 million apiece.
Yep, and that started a year and a half ago.
Started right before WrestleMania 31.
So he's got about a year and a half to go.
Yeah.
About,
year
yeah.
and a
So
quarter.
he'll do his run, his Cena run of giving people taking losses, which is great, which is awesome for the new generation of wrestlers.
Yep. Let's talk about Raw.
Yeah. So
Oh, man.
both the Survivor Series and the Raw following were in Canada.
Yep.
Awesomeness. It
Yeah, so
reminded
they
me of
kinda-
that moment with Natalia. The other Survivor Series part was they gave a lot of Canada love in the
Nikki,
pay-per-view.
Nikki Bella couldn't compete.
Right. So
then
Natalia came out. She got the cheers.
she
which
got
was
the
cool.
cheers, and it was great.
The Canadian crowd's always awesome.
Right.
I love it.
And so then the
They know the
Canadians
rule.
making
They
fun
know
of
the rule.
Thanksgiving.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So yeah, and this was so it's kind of like it's crazy for me because I was just typing up the notes before we recorded, and I was getting both Raws mixed up because they were both really, really good.
Oh, did I just do that too?
Yeah, you did.
Fuck.
So I think what made the Raw on the 21st really awesome was that Survivor Series is like they have their little catchy oh, we have to do these Survivor Series matches, and now we have this brand split, so we're gonna play this up. So the Raw after felt like the actual, now we're going to defend the titles. Now we're going to do cool shit.
Yeah.
So that felt more like a pay-per-view than Survivor Series did, which I really, really liked. So there was the Goldberg announcing he's in the Rumble.
Yep.
My favorite part of this was Jericho and Owens teasing the breakup. And it drags on.
It was an emotional roller coaster.
I was just like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Jericho had tear.
He was
a single
tearing
tear
up.
in his eye.
He was tearing up, and then they both go, "It's Roman Reigns' fault," and I'm just like, "This is amazing."
Yeah,
This is why I love it.
the crowd was like insanely
Lost it.
just losing their minds.
Lost
It was pretty dire. I mean, the list took a lot of lumps at Survivor Series.
It did.
Oh man.
It
Oh
did.
man.
Like several pages were ripped out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they tease the backup. They turn the crowd on Roman Reigns. Then, unfortunately, Roman Reigns
Which
comes
admittedly
out.
doesn't take much.
Right, it
Yes.
doesn't. You just have to like make fun of Roman Reigns once, and then all of a sudden you've got the crowd in the palm of your hand.
Right.
So this is clearly leading up to like the Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, whatever, blah blah
This made me
blah.
think of an eternal question. A
Uh-oh.
mini eternal question.
Okay.
Can you use Roman Reigns to put Sheamus over?
Oh shit, that's deep. That's fucking meta.
I think it'll happen. Yeah. No, I say yes.
The best part of this Raw, I think, was the main event where you had Rollins and Owens doing like fighting in the crowd, and that just got insane.
Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing. Like I don't have any like one spot I can call out in particular. Like this thing was really cool or this thing was really cool.
I have-
The whole thing was
It's one of those things where the whole match just it overshadows any one spot.
Yeah.
You can't focus on any one spot because the whole thing was just completely awesome.
yeah.
I will say there was one spot that made me scream out loud, like, "Don't fucking do it!" Which was when.
I'm sorry, Ray. What did you say?
Don't fucking do it!
Okay.
Waited for Kyle to take his drink. No, it was when
Is that,
Rollins.
Like, this is your equipment. You want me to spit beer all over?
No, it's when Rollins was at the little entrance. Like he basically like climbed up.
Oh my god.
And he dove to nothing, to basically just to Owens and like
Fuck.
nothing. Oh god, I was scared out of my mind. I haven't seen that since ECW.
Yeah, it was insane.
Ugh.
And then Sin Cara shows up. Not only Sin Cara, but Sin Cara in a
Jericho
hoodie.
mask.
in a Jericho mask, wearing a Nakamura hoodie. Like, there's so many little details in that whole
Oh
thing.
shit! You think it was Nakamura in a Sin Cara mask, in a Jericho mask?
It was.
Holy
It
shit!
gets so deep, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So speaking of Mask of Jericho, Raw opens up with the highlight reel, which
Yes.
Kevin Owens reminds us. Oh hey, by the way, I've been on the highlight reel two
Twice
weeks in a row.
Yeah,
This is
history
great.
making.
History making, and the longest reigning Universal Champion of all time. So I mean, like, I love these guys, right? Like, I think Jericho and Kevin Owens have reached New Day status where they could basically do anything, and I don't care, and I love it.
Yep.
So I was really sad to see them break up.
Yep.
That we all knew this was coming,
Yeah.
right? Like, we've been seeing this coming for weeks because
The payoff though is I want that match between them.
Yeah.
which
But
I don't know if it's gonna happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Jericho has time off coming. Like he has to. Like
I wanted that to be like his final act before the time off.
Yeah.
It was
I know.
inevitable that he was gonna, fade away. He saw them through like the plethora of fucking whatever it was, shoulder injuries or whatever. They all kept getting the same injury,
Yeah.
right?
torn rotator.
Yeah,
cuff.
he saw. Yeah, that was it. He saw them through that period of the summer where everyone's rotator cuff just went away,
Yep.
right? And now his
Exploded.
reward is he gets some vacation. But
Yep.
You got any thoughts?
Yeah, well, the fact is we've seen more Jericho this year than I think we've seen in about, 5 years?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
But do you have a problem with that?
Not really, because he's such an entertainer.
Yes.
How do I put this?
He tried
He's
really
not
hard,
physically as good as he used to be. He's
No.
not quite as on point as he used to be in the ring. But the level of entertainment that he brings as either a heel or a face. I mean,
Yes.
I loved it when they brought back, when he was a babyface, they brought back the old school Jericho there for a little while. His
Oh, yeah.
old school catchphrases, I thought that was great, but then, of course, it soured after a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And then they changed it up, they turned him heel again, and he plays such a great heel.
Oh,
Such
yeah.
a good heel.
He's like that veteran, like they say, the savvy veteran in sports, right? Like, he's just slide in any team and help them win in a playoff run.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where he's at. So when he first came back, I was like, oh man, this is a statement on how shit's going, right? And then it was, well, wait, he's because he's not phoning it in, he's trying real hard. This is awesome. And then he just kept sticking around. I kept kind of being worried, they're gonna take him away
Jericho
now.
never
and then
really-
he hung out the whole year. He's basically been around the whole year.
Jericho never really
Which is
phones it
impressive.
in though.
Yeah.
It's so
Doesn't.
funny. A few years back, he came back to the Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
and the crowd's chanting, "You still got it," and he just like talks right back to the crowd. It's like, it never left, baby. And I'm like, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, but it's one thing to be, one of the, people get summoned for the Royal Rumble, and another to come on and carry multiple storylines over months and help get people over, right?
Man,
Yeah.
dude,
And now Finn Balor gets hurt, and you suddenly have to carry this whole company.
Yeah.
So
Let's rewrite 8 months of story.
They kind of owe him a lot.
I
so.
think my favorite part, and I mean, I imagine if I was a wrestler in this case and I had been building up the concept of the list of Jericho, to have like the whole scene with the limo and him open the door and him drop the list, and if you hear the crowd, they're just like, oh, like nothing has happened except someone dropped a clipboard. But like you have thousands of people just like, oh shit,
it is.
It's the list.
Yeah.
It's the list, dude. Like,
if you
what the
just
hell?
believe, like it's like, if it's solid steel, if you just believe, like, and that's what they did. They added legitimacy.
Nice plug, right?
Yes, they added legitimacy to an inanimate object.
Yes.
And that is the magic of wrestling.
Yeah, it's great.
Like
Yeah.
Mitch before it, the list, and Francesca, the list
Mitch!
has reached
Oh,
heights.
Mitch!
Mitch!
R.I.P. Mitch.
R.I.P. Mitch.
All right.
So Lesnar's in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to talk about the women.
Yeah.
Like I just touched on
Yeah, all right, so we got like roughly 9 minutes. That should be enough.
Can I just say that, like I said this earlier, I know, but the level of wrestling that the women are showing right now in WWE is just blowing my mind.
Oh my stars.
I mean, you think you've seen it all, and then all of a sudden you're seeing the girls competing in Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
You're seeing them do. I mean, they don't
You're
call
seeing
it a
them do
hardcore match.
Fucking moonsault
Off
off the
the-
announce table.
off the announce table.
Onto concrete.
There are a lot of guys in that locker room that will not do
That
that.
will not risk
Mind you,
doing
the
that.
announce table is now up on a platform. That's way more dangerous.
Yes.
This isn't like,
Yes.
5 years ago announce table.
Yeah,
5
but
months
I
ago.
mean, there they are in a hardcore match. I mean, let's call it what it was. It was a hardcore match.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was.
I mean,
Fucking
they,
kendo
for
sticks.
whatever reason, they won't call it a hardcore match. anymore.
Backtrack. They had 2 matches on the same fucking show. Like, and
Yeah.
I think that part gets overlooked because of everything that happens in the second match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a full match
Yeah.
that basically ends in the double count out.
Yeah.
And then McFoley does this whole like, no, later on tonight. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? So they did the thing that did at Hell in a Cell where they silently became the main event.
Yeah.
And I love that they still did it. They just said, yeah, later on in the show, but they didn't outright say you're gonna be the main event, which
Yeah.
I really, really like. Because
Yeah.
it's like, that's how you do the equality thing is you make it's not weird that this is the main event.
Yeah.
And then just all hell breaks loose, right? Like,
And let's be honest, they deserve it.
they
Yeah.
do. Oh,
They-
absolutely. And if this is truly the end of their storyline, this was a fantastic way to go out.
And the other thing I would say is like Charlotte and Sasha have been putting on amazing matches, but it's been driving the rest of the division both on Raw and SmackDown to
Yes.
up their game. Not only
Yes.
in the matches they have, but in their mic work, in their overall storytelling,
Yes.
with their overall booking. Notice that storylines are finishing and not just ending in weird like, we just have to finish it.
No, like the Bellows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Naya's getting fucking really good on the mic and
Yeah.
making me really excited for
Yeah,
Naya.
2 weeks ago she was awesome.
Oh, man. Like, her mic skills are great. Bailey is putting on really good matches. And then SmackDown women are, like, putting on some good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's been good.
Even if not all the women are progressing at the same speed, because you have people like Charlotte and Sasha carrying the division, it immediately raises the respect for everyone else in that locker room.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's like, and some of those people like, I don't really care for Alicia Fox, but I have a lot more respect for her because of what the women's division has turned
Yep.
into. That it's like, if you're sticking around in the women's division, you clearly want to wrestle. You
Yep.
want to put yourself out there. You want to get beat in the fucking face with a kendo stick.
Yep.
Like, it's the same. It's not different now.
Yep.
It's great. I fucking love it. Like, I've done enough podcasts now where everyone knows my love for this fucking
And,
women's
well,
division.
and here's the thing that
Yeah, it was pretty
I,
dangerous for you to talk about the women first before Brittany. I was impressed. Only because you're a guest did you get away with it.
oh,
that's,
okay,
that's
all
really
right.
it. That's
Yeah.
really it.
But here's the thing, and I think I have a unique perspective on this because don't tell anyone else, but I don't have the WWE network, so I haven't actually seen a lot of these guys.
Craig, it's only $9.99.
I know.
Oh,
For the
God.
first
I know.
month, you get some.
First month you get for free.
Yeah.
That means you could get 2 pay-per-views.
You know what else you get for free in the first time?
What?
The wrestling class of 3-2-1 battle.
Oh,
Eddie Volk.
shit.
Oh! Damn!
Guys, they're not paying us.
Get the seats.
But so I'm actually seeing these guys as they're debuting. The first time I saw Charlotte was when they had the NXT girls do an exhibition match on Raw. I wasn't able to go watch NXT, so I'm watching them as they're developing, and I'm loving the variety of people. It's not just Barbie dolls in skimpy outfits anymore.
They've moved away from that.
They've moved away from that. I mean, look at Nia Jax.
Yes.
If you need any other example,
yeah, I think
a
the
great
only
example.
one left is Nikki, right? She'd be the only one who fits that traditional mold, right?
Yeah.
Nikki,
Alicia Fox a little
I was
bit.
gonna say, there's a couple that could
Summer
still
Rae's
fit.
hurt right now, but she kind of fits in that.
Yeah, but
It's
like,
like
none of
you know,
them have,
holdovers.
Let's be
like-
honest, Natalia kind of does fit that mold a
A
bit.
little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, she's kind of a holdover from like what the
Yes.
women's division was, and
Yeah.
she's willing to change to kind of fit what they're currently doing.
I think she was more like a transition girl, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because she was more of a wrestler than she was the Barbie doll type.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she struggled.
Absolutely.
She
Struggled mightily.
being a total diva, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, she did.
So yeah, the variety, like you're saying, is super awesome.
But anyway, so I'm seeing all this variety, and I'm seeing wrestling.
Yes.
I am not seeing
Slapping.
girls jumping on each other, having a cat fight, taking the hair and bashing the heads in
Yes.
every single match.
Right.
I am seeing different move sets. I am seeing talent. I am seeing girls taking risks. And it raises my level of respect for the women's division. I'm so glad that WWE got on the ball
Yes.
and finally
Finally.
gave them the chance that they really needed to succeed.
Yeah.
It's
So
pretty great because the best we ever got, and it was like a long time ago now, was like Trish versus Lita, and that was like hit or miss,
Yep.
but sometimes really good, right? And then it just kind of evaporated and went away.
Yeah,
right?
because it depended on who you had. I mean, if anybody remembers Trish Stratus versus Jackie Gata on Raw,
Yeah.
that train wreck,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could have one great wrestler and one terrible one, and it's still a train wreck.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super awesome. Like, it's, to me, just, I don't think twice about when they're the main event now. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, I never kind of did. It was more just like, they're finally letting them do it. These people are awesome, So it's, at some point, I feel like they had to, for the rest of the show's variety's sake, let the other people have a main event. Like,
Yeah.
That's a good
Jericho,
point.
Owens, Rollins, weird trifecta was never going to top Sasha Charlotte, right?
No,
And also,
not even close.
I must apologize, I guess, for giving Charlotte and Lesnar a kiss of death. on a
seriously,
previous-
what the fuck?
Specifically Charlotte, though, because I was like, how could she ever be defeated? Like, I think I said something like
Yeah.
that ridiculously
God.
over the top.
And here's the
A
thing: I
guardrail.
called
A fucking
Sasha
guardrail,
winning that
man.
match too.
Yeah. So speaking of Sasha, the one thing I want to call out, because we've on multiple occasions through this podcast have basically said that like we like Sasha, but man, we really want her to be a heel. And her calling out saying this victory is dedicated to Ric Flair, and then that whole thing panning out the way it did, I think that's the start of a heel turn.
That could turn into
I hope
something
so.
It's
interesting.
really subtle, like, and they've been really good about like it's not just a drastic. Okay, today you were face, tomorrow you're heel. It's like we're seeing that a
I can
little
Do
bit.
you see
that
a
at the
flipping of
moment-
roles here? Do you see a flipping of roles here where Charlotte may actually turn face?
The double turn!
Yeah, I can actually see that happening.
I want to see it just so I can get Kyle to have that reaction.
I want them to do, but you gotta do that in the same match. Stone Cold Bret Hart. All right.
I don't know. Actually, you know what? I think the double turn will not come from Charlotte. I think the Nia Jax Sasha will be a double turn because I think Nia Jax and Sasha are gonna fight.
gigantic behemoth Nia Jax. That doesn't make
No,
sense.
because
she's
no.
not going to be a face.
No, this is why.
Not yet, at
Just
least.
hear me out. Sasha is going to do some underhanded shit to win her match with Nia Jax.
Well, because Nia Jax is like 2 feet taller than her.
Right.
And two
But
big
like
pounds.
Nia Jax is legitimately like she should be in that conversation of world title.
Yeah.
It would have to be through Nia for her to turn back heel, I think. The Sasha, like kind of what you were describing, Brittany, about Sasha and Charlotte like rotating sort of around themselves there.
Yeah.
The moment to do that, because we actually watched, again, for me, but for you guys, like the end of the last Raw before the podcast where Ric Flair comes out and raises Sasha's hands. Like,
Yeah.
that would have been the easiest, most direct way to do
Yeah.
that, right? If she just, like, nut shot
Well,
him
and
right there.
I like too
But-
that was a callback to the previous
Yes.
storyline,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Charlotte calling out her dad saying you're
Yeah,
dead to me.
Charlotte,
blah, blah, blah.
like, reaped what she sown there, right?
It was just, and
So-
oh man, it was so good.
It was beautiful.
that
Yeah.
spot with the railing, like everything was so
But that
great.
would have been the simplest, most direct way, right? So,
Mhm.
but yeah, there's a lot of ways it could go, and I'm glad. I mean, I feel like it's time for Bailey Charlotte to do their thing.
Yep.
And
Bailey
have-
Sasha.
No, Bailey Charlotte.
Bailey
Oh
Charlotte.
shit.
Yeah.
Bailey Sasha has to end, right? That's what
Right.
we've been talking about.
Sorry,
right?
I'm like halfway through a beer now.
Okay. Sasha and Nia Jax will go the other way, and now
Yeah.
we'll have two good women's storylines.
Yes,
Yay!
Yes.
finally. So we have
Yes.
multiple.
That's the
women's
other
matches
reason
on
to
the show.
separate them.
Yeah.
To have two good storylines.
Okay,
instead
we're
of
getting to
one.
that point where we could talk about women's wrestling for like 30 more minutes. So
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap it up for the week. If you like the podcast, you can find us on Twitter at OnTheHeelsWP and on Facebook.com/OnTheHeelsWP. You can find our podcast through lots of different services like iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
You should subscribe and leave comments. Give us a 5-star. There is no choice. Tell your wrestling buddies about the podcast. Mention us. Tweet us. All the things. Ray's turn.
Awesome. Good segue, Kyle. Thank you for listening to On the Heels Wrestling Podcast. Thank you, Weekend Warrior, for joining us on the
Yay!
podcast today.
Yay!
It was awesome having you. Next week, we'll actually be interviewing Weekend Warrior, asking how he got into wrestling, what he loves about it, so please tune in. And then after all of that, we'll ask ourselves the eternal question, does WWE now just carry 2 belts around, one for Charlotte, one for Sasha? Because, I mean, like, changing those side plates, it's got to be a bitch.
Takes too much time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that goes into a belt.
Yeah.
Brittany's been eyeing the weekend's belt here. I think she might
I
steal
have
it.
been. I've got the Pacific Middleweight Championship just sitting on the kitchen table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little puddle of drool right in front of
Just
us.
a little bit. Just a little bit. I may or may not have been wearing it for half the podcast.
Yeah.
Pretty excited.
On the heel.